Hey guys, welcome back to ArtosisCasts. All right, just to give you kind of a little timeline, this will be released a few days later, but I just returned from Korea where I was casting a Stormgate event with Tasteless. A lot of fun, bit jet lag today, but happy to get home and catch up on some Brood War casts. All right, so looking here in the bottom left, we have, playing under the ID, Royal Deluxe. This is Rich. I don't know who this Terran is. Just some random Terran. Oh, yeah, it's Flash. The ladder continues to be mostly Terran and Protoss players. It's kind of insane. Like, seriously, the Pro Zergs are barely laddering at all for some reason. I swear. I'm trying to dig up some Zerg games as well, so we definitely will have some of those, but it's like actually few and far between right now. What a funny, weird situation that is. Anyways, guys, I hope that you guys have been enjoying. The future is looking super, super bright. You know, we have a new ASL season coming up soon. We have a new Star League starting soon. We're going to have confirmed next season of CNSL. Obviously, we're watching the Flash comeback. People have been asking, is he going to play ASL? My guess is no. We'll see. I don't have any inside info. I just, you know, following the scene for a long time. I don't think he will, but who knows? Someone asked, is it possible for him to play in CNSL? Yeah, if he tried for ASL and didn't qualify, that's like what it takes to play CNSL. So no, he couldn't ever play CNSL because literally it would be impossible for Flash not to qualify for ASL. Like, literally, he could not play for a year, come back to the qualifier, and he would probably make it in based on people panicking playing against him. It's something you got to remember about Flash. He's so... Everyone is so scared of Flash that they play poorly against him. This is a real thing. Like, you know, if you look at any sport, like the GOAT is someone that people are literally afraid to play against and play worst against. It's like this bonus that you get for being the best ever. So, yeah, he would never be able to play CNSL. All right. Anyways, looking here. Now, this is interesting. Already, we have something interesting. I've talked so much about gaseous expansion and the rotation of gaseous expansion and factory expansion, right? I've talked a lot about that. And how Flash is going heavy gasless, and then he started doing factory expands, right? Now he's done a 2 depot gasless. And a 2 depot gasless is in between. It's closer to gasless expand than factory expansion, but this is much more robust if they make a zealot, right? So, like, if Rich had sent his probe to the north and had made a zealot right away and sent it to the right, and you go for the 1 depot gasless expansion, that 1 zealot can cause a ton of damage. In this build, just hedges against that, basically. So it's like a safer gasless expansion, but the economy is just slightly worse. So this is the first time I've seen Flash do this build, maybe ever. He doesn't generally do this build because it's like a less optimized version. But again, it is safer. Like, for instance, this is the gasless I do like probably 80% of the time when I do gasless. Just because it's got that extra safety. You know, I'm playing on the ladder against dummies and stuff. Like, you never know what's going to come after you. So, kind of interesting to see him going for that there. Now, already has 4 Marines. Going to go ahead, load up that bunker. This SCV's been scouting over here for a little bit. And by the way, just to mention, Flash and Rich actually played 3 times on the ladder. So I will be going through all 3 of those games. Rich is really high level right now and somewhat likely to make it into ASL. So, yeah, I think that'll be fun. Just to let you know, this is game 1 between them. Sorry, I'm a little bit scatterbrained. The jet lag is real. Anyways, so we have the Robo coming up. Range is almost done here. And 2 factories for Flash. So I don't think... Because, like, Flash was in here alive with his SCV, and he saw that the second gate was not fast, so I don't think he'll go siege. I think he'll just make, like, some tanks. I think he'll go second add-on and go, like, 3 tanks, probably. Oh, he actually does go siege first. Okay. Okay. So siege first. This is the ultimate safety play. Basically, you can't afford siege and the tank at the same time. So you go siege first because it takes 50 seconds and the siege tank only takes 32 seconds. So that's just like the order that you buy them in. Okay, and I do like something else that we're seeing here. Notice he hasn't taken the gas yet. I actually think he'll start this gas relatively soon here. But when you're going, when you have like the 2 factory and you're having to repair, like mass repair the bunker, it like we talked about this before. If you get the gas really quickly, it's actually very bad because you run out of minerals super fast. Okay, so Flash is doing the 1 tank with siege mode into speed vultures here. And this is like this is a good way to do it. Like this is very, very safe, but also going to get him out on the map. So he sieges up, and Rich is very slowly going to pull Dragoons back, taking very, very little damage, but causing as much repair as is possible, forcing Flash to move this tank around a bit. In the meantime, Flash has flowed to the barracks over here. You might ask why, because you only see that in Terran versus Terran. But this checks the geyser. So he has a very good idea. Like, if you see that the geyser isn't taken at this point, see? If you see that, you know 100% there's a third base. Or let's call it 99%. I'm sure there's some B-rank Protoss build where you don't get the gas at this point, but you're on 2 base. Not sure exactly what it is, but I know it exists. Anyways, as speed finishes, he does run out. 2 of the vultures taking some pretty heavy damage. Looking back at Flash's base, throwing down some missile turrets. He has mines just now finished, so he has all 3 of those early game upgrades, getting into his armory, rotating the vultures around a little bit, and of course he can lay some mines here as well. You can see a couple more vultures come out, and he lays some mines there. And yeah, can't really transfer probes right now, so that's kind of a nice thing for him. 4-gate Dragoon right now is the production that we're looking at from Rich. Flash laying a couple mines here. Now, that mine he just laid there, he was trying to get a lucky jump over. It's super rare that you can lay a mine and make a vulture jump over a pylon wall that looks like this. If the pylon is 1 over, there is actually a way to get it through, but it's hard to do. Very, very hard to do. I've done it a couple times. I've seen Boxer do it. I've seen pros try to accomplish it. It's tough. But it is a bug that can happen. Anyways, the vultures continuing to rotate around. He actually makes 6 rather than the 4 that he oftentimes makes. +1 is on the way. Setting up siege tanks here and taking a 3rd base. So Flash is spread pretty well. Like, he's still rotating around. And look at this. Rich being really careful. He actually brings the shuttle with the probes here. Flash starts hitting this pylon. He's not going to have enough time, of course, as these Dragoons walk in. I like the idea. Like, if the Dragoons happen to be over here or something, you might actually break this, right? And then maybe more walls are made. Maybe you snipe the probe that comes up to make that wall. You're not sure exactly, but he's trying to give himself some opportunities to get something done with these vultures. Now, taking a look back here for Rich, we can see +1 air attack on the way, double Stargate and Fleet Beacon. So he's going to be going basically fast 3rd base, 4-gate Dragoon Reaver into carrier, and he's even skipping shuttle speed. Okay, so like this is a pretty greedy play here from Rich, but it's hard to scout that as Flash. Look, his academy is not done as of yet, and when it finishes, he'll probably be able to scout it right away based on the placements, right? Like if you just do a central scan, I think you're just barely going to miss the Fleet Beacon, but you will see this spinning, so you'll know, right? And again, this is like, it's old tech that you scan the Cybernetic score. It's like the lazy man's way to check if carriers are being made. And definitely there have been rotations of the metagame where someone would just not upgrade on that Cybernetic score, just make a second Cybernetic score elsewhere. But yeah, anyways, Flash is set up pretty well here. He's still kind of low army-wise. His comm sats are being made. SCV count is very, very healthy right now at 58. He's just going to want about probably 6, 7 more SCVs. Rich making 2 carriers right now. We're going to catch that scan when it comes out. There's going to be a scan coming out momentarily. Has a few turrets in here. We don't really see mines in here. I think just the fact that speed shuttles haven't been flying around, probably Flash is questioning what's going on. Look at the amount of factories he's already going up to, right? So already going up to 8 factories. We don't actually see a starport, so it seems like he's setting up for a very heavy, like, all-in play. So there's the scan, and he sees absolutely everything. He actually centered it up here, which I guess makes sense. There's not a lot of room for buildings, excuse me, down there. So now he knows what's happening, and he's insta-moving out. Oh my gosh. Like, that is a big, big army. I like the fact that he actually skipped starport. Like, Flash is not even attempting to get upgrade Terran going, right? Which is generally seen as a counter to fast carrier play. But in this type of situation, I think this is exactly right from Flash, right? He's got the 8 factories super, super, super fast. He's got +1, and he's hitting before the carriers are out at all. There's no zealot legs. There's no shovel speed. So no real way to stop what Flash is doing. He's just starting to crush through here right now. Look at that. The Dragoons being absolutely decimated. And the Reaver not being able to do anything as well. Some turrets are going to be constructed. And of course, Goliath range is on the way. And he's making nothing but Goliaths at this point, which I think is completely the right thing to do. It looks like Flash is going to be able to just kind of crush through right now. I don't think Rich really has anything else going on. Huh. This game really looks over. He's just... The carriers are not going to hit in here quickly enough. This is kind of interesting to me. So hold on a second. Okay, GG is called... I'm not surprised about the GG. I just want to jump back a little bit here, okay? So... very standard early stuff. Like I mentioned that he was hedging with the second depot to have more Marines. So it's just a fine thing to mix in. If your opponents are making like blind zealots and sending them out and stuff. It's like an alternative to a factory expansion. So here, okay, now this is not uncommon. The 1 tank with siege mode to push the goons back and then follow up with speed to get intel. This seemed very smart. In any other position, he wouldn't have been able to do this move. But even if he doesn't see that there's a geyser, like, right? Like, even if he can't send the barracks, is what I'm trying to say here, the speed vultures will still confirm what's going on, right? So this has been a huge theme of Flash's play against Protoss lately, is he's doing his scouting via speed vulture, right? Just checking timings of third bases and stuff gives you a ton of information. And yeah, he had the SCV in there and saw the timings of everything, so his eBay comes up a little bit later. He gets the good scout off. Of course, now, when he scouts this going on, right, where it's like basically just pure Dragoon third base, he gets his third up really fast, right? This is great anti-goon. Now, if this had turned into Speed Shuttle Reaver, I feel like this layout is very poor against that. So this is what I was kind of wanting to look at, because this is, in this particular game, this super fast third base paid off very, very well. We actually recently watched a game on the channel. I want to say that it was Speed playing against, I believe it was Motive, if I'm not mistaken here. I just kind of alt-tabbed and glanced over at games that I've casted recently. I believe it was a Speed Motive game that looked extremely similar. Not exactly the same, but extremely similar to this, where I believe Speed was actually in this spot and he expanded here. And basically Speed Shuttles hit the main and really damaged him, right? So let's just take a look at the timing that Speed Shuttles generally come in. So, like, he knows that it's Observer first here, obviously. Now, Speed would probably be done relatively soon here. So, like, let's just... I want to take a look at this. Hey, at least my rambling at the end hides how long the replay is, right? A lot of people ask about putting like just a fuzz at the end or whatever, or just a black screen or something. That destroys the videos in the algorithm, just so you guys know. So here comes like a single drop. Okay, this is actually the interesting part. Let me just back this up slightly. Okay, so he has vision here, he has vision here. Where are those tanks? Okay, so he's clearing eggs, He's got this setup, which is pretty good. Pretty good anti-Dragoon. Some decent vision. Let's watch this shuttle come in. Okay. Shuttle starts to fly in. His tanks just happen to be here killing the eggs, and he brings the army back. I don't know what he was planning to do with these tanks. And this isn't a speed shuttle, and it's not multiple shuttles. And he has no way to confirm tech yet, right? Academy just finished. So this is the thing that I see is, like, this looks really good from Flash and allowed him to hit this 8 factory timing and just wipe the floor with Rich. But I do not believe he had the correct intel here to be confident in this. Right? Like, there's levels of confidence, right? So, like, he definitely doesn't know for sure what's going on. So if there was, like, multiple speed shuttles that fly in here, well, if the tanks are sitting here, or, like, I don't know where he had just finished clearing these eggs. Like, I feel like the tanks would more likely go up into this general area, or maybe even just here. And then maybe they can walk back and help against speed shuttles coming in. It's just, this is, like, the weakest defense against mass speed shuttles ever. And they could be hitting now. So anyways, that's just kind of the thing I wanted to look at here. And maybe as we look at more Flash games, we'll see the answer to this, and if something like that occurs. Because it's not that Rich's build was bad. Flash countered it pretty damn hard, and he got a lot of good intel. There's not a question about that. But, like, I do feel like there were options that are actually more common than what Rich did that would have done well against what Flash did here. So anyways, that's my small analysis of this game. No chills this game. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.